Did someone ask you to look at network marketing? In today's video, we're going to be talking about MLM lies disproved. If someone's asking you to look at network marketing, it's kind of difficult sometimes because there's two ends of the spectrum. There's the people who are asking you to do it, and there's people who are telling you don't do it. And it's kind of hard to find a middle ground in someone who is just going to very accurately show you both sides. All right, so I am not here to get you to do network marketing, and I'm not here to get you to not do network marketing. I have been in the network marketing industry for about 30 years. I've made many millions of dollars. I consulted a couple of hundred network marketing companies, and so I have the different perspective on companies, okay? And so a lot of times the antis who tell you not to do it, they clump everything into one category where I'm able to differentiate between companies. And so I think it's going to be very helpful. This is going to be an honest discussion, both pros and cons, all right, and where the data is coming from. All right, so let's jump into that. First of all, let me just say this. My parents, when I joined network marketing in 1989, said, don't do it. My sister emphatically said, don't do it, it's a scam, okay? I'm sure glad that I took the time to really dig into it and study it and learn it. And because it's made me millions of dollars, and I've helped thousands of people make millions of dollars. And so I'm really glad that I did it. And I remember saying to myself, I'm like, well, my sister and my parents are not going to pay for my kids' education or my house or anything else. This is my responsibility, so I need to really look at it, okay? And so that's what I suggest that you do as well. All right, so you already know this, that there's always a pro and con. You know, like you've seen it in the Amazon notes or the comments. That, you know, you can have a 99% rating, but there's that one person who's attacking the heck out of it, you know, that product that they bought or the book or whatever, right? You've seen it on the Yep restaurants. You wonder whether or not they are with a competing company or something because, you know, it just was very different than the rest of them, you know, the different comments. And so there's always going to be pros and con opinions. But there's only one fact. And that's the fundamental thing that I'm trying to get at here. And then there are also anti-people, right? And I'm saying anti, meaning those are the ones that are out there really attacking. And there's anti-everything, if you happen to notice. All you have to do is type in anti and then whatever subject, and you'll find those groups, and they sit in there. And they just like, no, it's awful, it's horrible, it's unbelievable, I can't believe it, I can't believe it shut down. And, you know, it's all that noise, it's chatter, right? And there's even anti-religion right in the United States where we supposedly have religious freedom. Well, we do have religious freedom, but not without the chatter. Okay, so there's specific religions that are attacked, and then just the whole subject of religions are attacked. And so I just wanted to share that with you, that there's always going to be this scene, and so you can kind of expect it. And it's been the same hype and the same doom and gloom, okay? So for my 30 years and the 20 years before that, network marketing has had both the hype, I mean the hype is going to be, you know, claiming that you can make a whole lot of money real easy. All you have to do is get in, and kind of that buy a lottery ticket mentality. That's not true. It's 100% true, but you already knew that, right? You know, like, you know it's going to take work. And then on the other side of it, it's the doom and gloom, and that's the anti-people out there who are saying that any day now it's going to get shut down, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, right. So after a while, it just becomes chatter. So for the 30 years that I've been in the network marketing industry, when I first started hearing it, it was big. It was loud to me. But it was kind of like when I used to play Little League baseball, and I would step out to get up to the batter's box, you know, and then all of a sudden the team that we were playing against started going, hey, batter, 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 batter. And then the dugout started saying, hey, batter, 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 batter. And the people in the the stands were saying, hey, batter, 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 batter. And it was like, oh my gosh, right? And it really did distract me. But about the 10th time I got up to bat, it was just noise, right? And so that's kind of what it's become to me. And so you've got Doomsday Supervillain over here, and that's what it looks like in the beginning, but you see a little mouse after a while. It's just noise, okay? All right, so I want to give you the source of where the anti-network marketing propaganda machine sits, all right? So there are 6, and that's it, 6 anti-network marketers. And what they do is that they publish like PDFs and videos and things like that, and then that disseminates out to social media and videos and newspaper and infographics, blog post articles, television, things like that, and that's how it goes out. And if you happen to have watched another video that I did, and I really recommend that you do it, it's called Where Did Network Marketing Get Its Reputation? I discuss in minute detail about how they manipulate your thoughts, the words that they use, and how they omit certain important information that would make that whole concept irrelevant, and just how they twist it all up. And out of that comes few make money, pyramid, scam, cult, illegal, people at the top make all the money, Ponzi scheme, products expensive, and most fail. That's the stuff that comes out of it. And then these people here have a particular motive in doing it. And they're trying to get eyeballs. All right, so they're selling advertising or they're something, and I explained all that in the other video, but I just wanted you to get a single picture of this. And each one of these I've addressed in the videos, okay? So you can just go to youtube.com/network marketing power, all right? And so I've basically taken each one of these, and so I didn't want you to think that I'd glossed over in this conversation because I have hit every issue that's there. Okay, so, and by the way, this same content is what's been out there publishing and republishing for 50 years. And the doom and gloom has never happened, all right? It's never happened. The oldest network marketing company is still in business today, okay? So all that they predicted to happen didn't happen, and they're still predicting it's going to happen. Okay, so let me just give you the breakdown in a real simple way of what is network marketing. So you have a building and you have some executives who get together, all right? So these are the dreamers. And they say, hey, we want to start a company. And they put policies of how they're going to run their company, right? And then they get some products or a service, and then they hire some employees, and then they create an offer to those employees. And the offer is, we're not going to give you any of the upside potential of the company. The upside potential is you'll keep your job, right? If you work hard, okay? So that's what a job typically does. And in network marketing, everything is the same. They have employees who work in this building, but how they do their advertising is different than traditional. The way they do their advertising is if you find the customer, then you earn it, okay? And if you find a sales rep, train that person, then you earn an extra advertising override is what it's called. It's just an additional commission because you were the person who brought that person in. It's like a human resources person getting a bonus if they hire somebody that does really, really well, right? So that's all that an override commission is, okay? But what they're doing over here is that they say, okay, you're not going to get a salary, but you get the upside potential of what you build. That's really all that it is. Where when you look at the anti-network marketing, they make it out to be like something crazy. It's kind of like that supervillain. And I've been in 200 companies and I've never seen that villain that they're talking about. And so The greatest benefit here is that you get business ownership, meaning the upside potential, at a fraction of the cost if you were to say, I want to be the business owner here and do all of this. Okay, so that's the real benefit there. Typically costs, I don't know, $30 to $50 to join the company. If you buy the products, it might be $500, it might be $1,000, something like that, depending upon how big the product line is. And typically they give a 30-day money-back guarantee. So when you hear a lot of noise that people lose money and stuff, I'm not really seeing it. Okay, when you compare it to this, it's a lot different. You may be wondering why Jackson Storm is sitting on my desk. Okay, so network marketing is simply a vehicle. That's all that it is. It's a shell, if you will. And a person can do with it what they want. And so when somebody is talking about that network marketing is blah, 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 no, it's just a shell. All right? And so my son, he's 2 years old, and he obviously loves the Disney movie Cars. And if you ever see a kid pick up a toy, pay close attention to something. All right? So here's what my son, his name is Braxton. Here's what he does. He'll take this car, and has he seen the movie, right? And he'll like he'll kneel down on the floor, and this will be sitting on the couch, and he'll just sit there and he'll just roll the tire, and he's looking at it, right? He's admiring the heck out of that thing, and he'll make little sound like, right? And then he starts driving the thing around the couch and across the, the arms of the couch and across the back, and so he's created a racetrack out of the couch. And he slides it sideways and things like that. And he found my wife's earbuds, and he somehow rigged it around the wheel, right? And then he starts making the car fly, okay? What's going on? Why am I talking about this? Well, in any business, and even in a job, what you're doing is you're injecting life force into your job, into your business. And so the moment that you put that car down and you ignore it, then of course that's the way you stop the thing, right? And so a lot of times when people don't invest in their business or don't do particular actions that are required, then they're not doing the business. And so when you think of, like that person failed or whatever, well, you don't know how much life force they injected into the whole thing, right? And so I just want to make that point to where if you compare yourself to somebody else, you have no right to do that. And the reason being is because you don't know how much life they put into the thing. You can look at a relationship in the same way. When I say a vehicle, a relationship is just a vehicle. It's two people coming together and deciding to stay with each other, to be with each other, to create a relationship, to create a family, to create a home, right? As soon as one says, no, then the game's over, right? And so that's the reason that I want to bring that particular point up. So that's the biggest advantage. That's network marketing in a nutshell. Now, a lot of times people will look at network marketing and they will define it based upon what the people are doing. All right, so I remember when I first joined network marketing, I would hear people say, I don't want to go door to door. And I was like, well, I've not gone to any doors. What are you talking about, right? And so they were carrying the baggage from a decade before, where there was the ding-dong, Avon calling kind of a concept, right? Well, that wasn't what we were doing at that time. We were inviting people to a hotel meeting at that time. And this is like in the early 90s. And then we've moved away from that, right? As an industry, we've not. So the point I'm trying to make is that don't define it by how it's being done at that moment in time. Because we, as an industry, just evolve into whatever is the best marketing method. We're going to adapt that. Okay, so You can run ads, you can, do TV shots, you can do radio, advertising, magazines, social media. If your big thing is to go to an expo, and I've seen teams do this, where they will go to wedding expos and, and sell weight loss, or they'll, do skincare, or, something like that. And so it's not defined by how we generate leads. It's because it's defined more by what's up here. So you've got to, and this is true, this is a law of any organization that wants to expand, all right? You've got to generate leads. You've got to get in communication with them somehow. You got to contact them. If it's a storefront and they walk in the door, you walk up and say, "Hi, can I help you?" Right? You set an appointment in some cases, and then you do a presentation of some kind, and then you're going to follow up with them until you're going to get a yes or a no. I mean, that's the basics of every organization, and I'm talking about every college that wants applicants. I'm talking about politicians. I'm talking about church. I'm talking about all of it. Okay, so this is the process of expanding an organization. All right, so there is really no such thing as a person who can't do a business successfully. Only someone unwilling to learn this and get great at each of the steps. And so for someone to quit or to fail and then turn and blame it on the industry, I'm sorry, that's not truth. It means very simply that they failed to learn these steps. And maybe they could say that, well, the person who brought me in the business never taught me that. Okay, well, now you got it, right? Or maybe, the customer didn't want the product. Okay, well, maybe you chose the wrong company, right? Or maybe you're choosing the wrong product in the product line. Or maybe you need more information to increase the value of the product. So the person will, wants it based upon the value, okay? So, okay, so the main thing I want you to get out of this is this is all that there is. I've done it for 30 years. And again, I consulted companies and I taught them this. And this is all there is in how we build. We do not necessarily define how each one of these is done or has to be done, because it doesn't make any sense. If I bring a person in the business and the business that they are currently in is, let's say they do postcards for a living, in other words, they print postcards, I'm not going to tell that person to run advertisements in magazines or on the radio. I'm going to say, send out postcards. You see? All right. Now, there are 4 categories of people that I've run into and the information that they've gotten. All right? So I want to walk you through this. So number 1 is a person who is actively building network marketing. And they like network marketing and they're doing the pipeline. And so when you got contacted about looking at network marketing, that's what's happening right here. All right, so these steps is what's happening. And so if somebody contacted you, they're just doing what any business would do, right? And so that's one category. Another category of people around network marketing is it's all hearsay. So they themselves have never done network marketing, and so all the information that they're actually spitting out, talking, is other people's opinions of it. And it could be friends and family, it could be the media, and these people may republish that pro and con information. Right? Oh, I heard it's really bad. Oh, I heard rah, 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 right? Okay. Or I've heard, your uncle did it and he made a lot of money, right? In other words, I'm not saying that it's negative or positive, but the main thing is it's all hearsay. That's not where you want to get your data. And here are people who have experienced network marketing in some way. It might be that they actually joined a company or they did 2 companies. There's thousands of companies, okay? And so what happens is that either good or bad, they may extrapolate that experience across the whole industry, all right? And that is generalizing. And that becomes very, very dangerous because if I generalized on girls, I'd been in trouble, right? So I had a girlfriend, she wasn't so great. And it's a good thing that I didn't carry that baggage to the next relationship. Otherwise, I wouldn't have, gotten the queen of all my dreams, if you will, right? So the next one is maybe the experience that this person had was that they got spammed. And so then they said, oh man, I don't like that. Well, neither do I. I did a video called Network Marketing Success, Who Earns Millions and Who Earns Zero. And in that, I define the kinds of people who will spam. All right, they're also the awkward person who won't shut up at Thanksgiving dinner, and they cause an awkward strain in the relationship with people. Okay, that is not defining an industry, that's defining a behavior in a person. Okay? These people may republish pro and con for eyeball purposes. All right, so this video that I did on how network marketing got its reputation, when you see the media all talking about network marketing, it's because they want eyeballs. You see, the media doesn't have themselves, they don't sell a product. They use whatever it is that they're being a critic of, they use that as their power source. In other words, that is how they get eyeballs to come to them, and that's how they sell advertising space. All right, so all you have to do is just go to any blog that's popular, or any like news station blog or their page, and you're going to see advertisements all over the place, right? Well, that you're on there looking at it, right? So I go and try to just get a weather report, and it's like, all these banners are running everything, right? So eyeballs equals advertising dollars. And so network marketing has a lot of eyeballs. There's over 100 million people doing network marketing, and so you bet there's a lot of eyeballs. So if they write a juicy, if it bleeds, it reads kind of an article, then they get eyeballs, right? So that's one of the reasons that they do it. Okay, so for this group, if the person doesn't want to do network marketing, it doesn't make them an anti-network marketer. It just means, no, I don't want to do it. Good, fine. Right? If a person is interested in understanding it, then educate, not debate. All right, so that's right there where I think a lot of people kind of goof up when they're talking to friends, is that a friend may bring up something that they heard from somewhere, and then all of a sudden that friend turns from a friend into, kind of like duking it out, right? And both want to be right. And so I just recommend, forget the debate part, just educate, right? It's always served me really well just to, because, sometimes, when people don't understand, they get a little, raspy, if you will, antagonistic almost. And so I welcome it, right? I do that when I'm confused too. So I just help people there. Okay, now the anti-MLM 6 people, all right? Here's the deal. 5 of those people did network marketing and quit, then turned around and blamed the whole industry. Not the person that brought them in the business, not their company, but the whole industry. All right, that's gross generalization, right? So what they're doing is that they're pretending to be a victim. And man, do people love to be victims. All right, so it attracts a lot of people. The other person is a self-proclaimed expert in network marketing, even though he's never done it. I don't know, guys. How does somebody become an expert in something when they can't do it? Right? Like, maybe I'm old school. Maybe I grew up with a different kind of dad. And, if you knew your stuff, you could do it. If you knew your trade, he was a craftsman. And if you knew your trade, you knew what to do, right? And so this guy is a self-proclaimed expert, right? No, he's not. They have nothing good to say. Okay, so if you ever do get a conversation with these 6 people, And I've not. I've only had one person, and they have nothing good to say. And all I could remember, I grew up in the South, right? And all I could remember was being around prejudiced people. And there was nothing good. And, well, then I went overseas and I saw the same behavior. And a prejudiced person, a prejudice against anything, it's just proof that they're biased and they're not looking at the individual. Because, you know, do you mean to tell me that there's nothing good about the person who showed you the business? There's nothing good about any of the products? You mean there's nothing good about any of the executives in the company? You never learned a single thing the entire time? Oh, come on, man. Right? In other words, they've lost perspective when they can't identify one thing. And they become illogical and insane on that subject. All right? I'm going to give you an example in just a minute. And here's the thing, and you got to keep this in mind the entire time you look at anything anti. What are they offering you that's better? Okay, really look at that one, because, okay, it's so easy to be a critic of something, but what are you getting done? What are you accomplishing? What are you helping people do? Actively trying to destroy. All right, so when I said that the anti-network marketers are different, that's what I'm doing. I'm saying that they're actively trying to destroy. All right, so let me talk about this. So this gentleman right here, his name is Bill Ackman, and he came out a couple of years ago, and he had a very clear agenda. Okay, so he placed a bet right here. This is the stock trades. He placed a bet up in here. And then he went out and he announced that a company called Herbalife was a pyramid scheme, and that it was going to go to zero. He was going to shut the company down, or he was going to get the FTC to shut the company down. And so the stock drops. Okay, he bet $1 billion here, guys. All right, $1 billion. And then he comes out with this whole smear campaign. Pyramid scheme, no customers, scam, predatory, people lose money, deception, all right? And he claimed that he was just trying to help the little guy, the victim. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they all say, right? That's what the anti-people all say while they're trying to destroy people, right? And I'll define that a little bit better. So if the stock price dropped from 36 down to 18, then he would make $1 billion. Okay, so now you see what I mean when I say agenda. How did it turn out? Well, the stock dropped, but this gentleman right here, Carl Icahn, he bought the stock. And then he wrote it up, and then the Federal Trade Commission said that it would investigate, and the stock dropped again. He bought it again. And so then the stock goes up. And by the way, they were going to shoot a movie called Betting on Zero. And the whole thing was about the network marketing industry. And so he was betting that it would go to zero. He betted it was not. And so in the end, it was just a blip in Herbalife's history. And the stock continued on. All right. And so the FTC did not define them as a pyramid scheme. Okay. And so he said that he sold out of some of his shares, and he made $1 billion from what he bought here, but he also still owns 26% of all the shares that are outstanding. All right. So I want you to keep this in mind when you read the anti-people, and what they're saying is that it's a pyramid scheme. They don't have customers, scam, predatory, people lose money, deception. That's the doom and gloom. And this guy was willing to bet $1 billion on it. You see how he became irrational, right? He became a little bit loose, if you will, and that's how he ended up losing. So keep that in mind when you have a neighbor, or you have, you read something online and they're talking doom and gloom, but yet it's never happened. Okay, so now I'm going to drill in on this anti, and when I said actively trying to destroy, I'm going to show you some things. Number one, when a person decides to destroy another, oh man, they've crossed over a line, okay? You want to not do it? Good. You want to stop others from doing it? That's when you cross over a line, right? And you become irrational and insane. If you just think about, a jealous boyfriend or something like that. You're a girl, you break up with a guy, and instead of him just going on his own way, no, he's out to put you down. He's out to try to prevent you from being happy. Okay? That's what's going on with these people who tried network marketing and didn't do the pipeline, and so therefore they have to turn around and tell everybody else not to do it. Right? It's kind of if I can't make it, I won't let others. And we call that the crab mentality. I'll show that to you in a minute. They're not standing up for the little guy. They're trying to destroy the little guy mentally. Okay, he's trying to take that spirit away from him, that if the guy wants to get up and do something and get better, then the guy's trying to hack that. No. Don't do that, right? You should open a traditional business. Well, the Small Business Administration average loan is $350,000. They don't tell you that part, right? And so a lot of people that I have found in network marketing who have, I produced a video, and a lot of people know me because of this video called Brilliant Compensation. And people will always come up to me and they'll say, hey man, I remember your video. I learned business from doing network marketing. And it was just a great experience. I moved on, I owned my own company and things like that. Well, they generated knowledge, they generated income, a residual income, and then they were able to do their own business, okay? And so these people who claim that they're standing up for the little guy, no, they're not. No, they're not. Don't believe them. They are absolutely infuriated by network marketing success. You got this PhD who's sitting there, and he's not making success out of it because he's not doing the pipeline. All right, that's always the reason. And then he watches this single mom walk across the stage out there, right? And she's showing pictures that she was in a trailer park, and now she's in this beautiful house. Oh, it infuriates the guy, right? Absolutely infuriates him. Every time a network marketing company gets investigated by the FTC, and by the way, the FTC is investigating a lot of companies all the time, not necessarily network marketing companies. They're being fined. I know because I trade stocks, and sometimes they get fined and the stock goes down. All right, so it happens a lot, but man, did they get infuriated when they would investigate Herbalife and not shut it down, right? And so they get in these groups online, and it's the most miserable group of people I've ever tried to read in my life. They're all antagonistic. They're mad, and they're banging it. It's an echo chamber because everybody's there for the same reason, which is to hate network marketing, right? And so you see them so mad when these companies don't get shut down and when the whole industry doesn't get shut down, right? It's that doom and gloom waiting for it to happen. Never does. Okay, so now, won't debate. All right, I'm talking about the 6 antis. So here's the situation. I got a phone call one time, and this guy, he was in college student, and he made a comment in the class out loud in front of everybody about network marketing. And the professor shut him down, said it's a pyramid scheme. And so he said, he goes, why do you say that? He goes, it is. And so he kind of used his authority to shut that conversation down. And so he contacted me and he said, would you be willing to debate the professor? And I said, yeah, if you can get him to debate it. And so I just kind of told him, here's the situation. Here's how I do this. So number one is that I will come there. I'm going to bring a mathematician. I'm going to bring an attorney. And I'm going to bring a film crew. And we're going to record the whole thing, and it's going to be published. And so, but get his agreement first before you tell him all of that. And so he did. He waited. He raised his hand in class and said, would you be willing to debate somebody on network marketing? And the guy said, and the professor said, absolutely. And then once he saw what we were going to do, we were going to bring the crew, he bowed out, right? Because factually, it's not a pyramid scheme, all right? There can be illegal behavior, All right, so let's say you're driving a car, all right, it's legal to drive, right? But can it be illegal to drive? Yeah, if you're drunk. Yeah, if you're speeding. Yeah, if you're swerving off the road, right? Taking mailboxes out, things like that. Is that illegal? Yeah. All right, it doesn't mean network marketing is illegal. Just because somebody got fined, just because somebody lost their license doesn't mean that driving is illegal, right? Okay. So number one is they won't debate, or they use what I call whack-a-mole. I don't know if you've ever been to the fair or something, and you play that game where you got a hammer, a mallet, and the mole pops his head up, and you try to hit it, and it jumps up over there, right? And so you're smacking over here, right? Well, that's the way that they do. Every time you try to separate out and take one item in network marketing that they're saying, people at the top make all the money, right? You take that conversation and you try to get definitions around it. And they invent their own definitions, right? I remember this one guy, he was saying, it's all a scam. And I said, well, what's your definition of a scam? Network marketing. I'm like, well, that's convenient, but I'm sorry, that's not the definition of a scam. A scam is knowingly trying to trick someone. Well, this industry has already been regulated. All right, it's not like it's brand new or something. All right, so that's what I call whack-a-mole, and I have no interest in having that conversation with anybody because I'm trying to have a logical conversation with an illogical person on it because they've kind of lost their sanity on the whole subject because they're prejudiced, right? Now, I know that an anti-network marketer would say the same thing about me, what I'm saying right now, when I say this right here, that there's no logic in illogic. And he's like, well, you sit in an echo chamber and you just talk about good and about network marketing. No, I don't, all right? However, here's the thing. It has to come to a spear tip, right? Anti-pro. It has to come to a spear tip. And where's that spear tip? Well, in my opinion, it comes from, number one, the industry is still growing strong. It's still going. So the doom and gloom didn't happen. Sorry, it didn't happen. Move on, right? That's really my view of it. But the other thing is this concept over here, which is they're not offering you anything better. So I pulled some statistics, and I'm just using myself as an example, and there are a lot of me's out there. There are people who have done far better than me. And so I'm not trying to say that I'm some sort of a king on a hill or something. I'm not. All that I'm going to do is, so I built a network marketing business from 1989 to 1995, and then I retired for 18 years with a residual check. Okay, so when people tell you that you don't get residual income, sorry, you do. No, I'm not sorry you do. No, sorry for them that they're wrong, but I experienced it. All right. And then after 18 years of retirement, I wanted to go back in and start again. And a guy, the first company bought my business back from me. All right. And so then I started anew. And in the last 7 years, I personally, doing the pipeline, I sponsored 74 people, okay? And I don't know any business that, if you think about 74, if that's a big number to you, I don't know how any business could do, and that's in 7 years, right? What kind of business can survive in 7 years, right? With only 75 customers, all right? So I want you to put that into perspective that it's not that many people. 50, and by the way, and then those people recruited other people, sold products, and recruited other people, and blah, 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 and the organization grew. And now, in 7 years, there's 56 people who have made over $1 million on my team. 22,366 preferred customers. So when people say you don't get customers, I don't know which company you're looking at. Here's the thing. 30 people, okay, so we have these things called ranks, and they're just like in a job, right? So you go from employee to manager to senior manager or whatever, right? So we have ranks. In the military, you went from, a 0 to an ensign, whatever. You just had ranks, petty officer, first class and third class and all this stuff, right? And so there are 30 people at the same rank as me, even though I was the first distributor in the company. 30 people who are ranked higher than me. In other words, they make more money than me. 36 people on the same rank as me. 87 people one rank below me. 379 are 2 ranks below me. 1,812 are 3 ranks below me. And here's the finale. So there's 2,344 people who have an average income of $250,000 a year. So I asked Mr. Anti, who are you helping? What's your statistics? Yeah, you're an advocate, or yeah, you're a critic of something. What are you an advocate for? You got something better? Then good. I will debate you if you can show me your statistics and beat it. All right? Otherwise, sit down, right? All right. So I'm going to wrap this up with, I promised you that I was going to talk about the crab mentality, crab bucket mentality. And I heard this story a very, very long time ago. I lived in Maryland at the time, and I kind of thought, well, it sounds like a cool story, but I actually want to I want to see it, right? Because I was in Maryland, I was a diver for the U.S. Navy, and so it wasn't difficult to find crabs. And so I did it, and it's absolutely true, all right? So here's the thing. So when crabs get in a bucket, that's not their native land, right? So crabs are used to running all over the place. When they get in a bucket, and a crab tries to crawl out, the other crabs, when they see that they got an arm over and is pulling up, they will even work together. They'll work together and climb on top of each other to pull the guy down. If he tries to go up and tries to get out of that bucket, they will actually use their claws and snip right at the joints and break their arms. Okay? And if they still try to get up there, they'll kill them. That's the crab in the bucket mentality. In other words, they don't want you to get better than them. Okay, that's the scene. That's what's going on there. So anti-people and those who republish their content are displaying the crab in the bucket mentality. We got to call it what it is. That is what's going on. And here's an example outside of network marketing. So this guy, I read this in the news, and he said he paid off his mortgage in just 3 years, okay? And he did it by living, a real frugal life, living in his basement, and then renting out the rest of the house. And then he worked 3 jobs, and he did that for 3 years, and he paid off his mortgage. And he thought, this is so cool. And so he went to the media and he said, do a story about this. And they did. And then the comments that came in down below, it's crab bucket mentality. I'm going to read you some of it. Upstanding citizen works his life away. 3 years, guys. 3 years. Lives in miserable squalor. This guy's obviously never been in the military, okay? Because I was in it for about 11 years, and we lived in miserable squalors, and it was a lot longer than the 3 years. And forgoes human relationships for years. How is this an inspirational story? Somebody else said, yet another privileged white man bragging about how he did it on his own. Another one. I'm not particularly happy for him. I pity him. He's a model victim of a deranged cultural ethos that elevates work and money and possessions above all. What? That's not what he's doing. He just paid off his mortgage. He didn't want to have the debt. All right? That's his simplicity. And so then I bring it over to here. Here's the true crisis. 69% of the United States has less than $1,000 in savings. 33% of that are seniors. How are they going to retire? They can't retire. All right, they're going to work until they drop. All right? And so, in conclusion, guys, a job, you get a steady paycheck. If you want to choose that route, my recommendation is don't spend half of your money. Put it away. And if you only make $40,000 a year, you're going to have to live your whole life in a reduced lifestyle. Okay? That's the way you're going to make it, but come out on the other side, right? To where you have money. These people who have less than $1,000, they're one water heater breaking away. They're one transmission falling out of the car away. They're one illness away, right? You don't want that. There's no security in that. And so, if you want a job, that's the way to do it. Okay, get your job, get a good one, and just live on half your income, save the rest of it. Network marketing, if you want the upside, it is work. Don't believe the hype that it's kind of like buying a lottery ticket. Just because you're on the winning football team doesn't mean that you make it. Okay, so even if things are growing really good, you got to work. You got to pull your load, right? And that's the one thing about network marketing is that you're paid on production, not paid to show up. And so don't believe any hype other than this, and it's not even hype, but the pipeline. The pipeline is what you will learn and get great at. But if you do, and here's what I said, if I'm going to get good at something, I might as well get good at something that can make me a whole lot of money. All right, so that was my thinking when I was in the military, and I did this part-time for 2 years. All right, and so the advantage again is a lower investment than a traditional business. If you do have money, then you can do a traditional business. All right, I do think it's worth it just to spend time in network marketing because you learn guerrilla marketing. All right, you learn to really learn about your customer. Right? You sit down with them, you talk to them, all right? You get into their hearts, all right? And so anytime a person has spent a lot of time right in front of that prospect, and I'm not talking about a website in front of that prospect, I'm talking about somebody who cares. You don't sell a weight loss product. You sell somebody losing weight. And so you sell the product and you stay with them until they lose weight, if that's what you sell, right? And when you do that, you get really good at marketing, because you know how the person thinks. You can help them. And by doing that, your marketing completely changes. All right? You're no longer talking at them because you've been talking with them. And so for that particular reason, I think it's a great entry point for business owners. And so thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video.